Welcome back to Shabbat Shmooze, my favorite Parsha in the entire Torah. This is the Parshat Vayigash that makes me bawl my eyes out every time I'm in shul and I'm following along. And I've already spoken about this many times, so we're not going to talk about that line that Yosef HaTzadik says. We'll get into it a little bit later. But I took something totally different this week when I was preparing my notes for you guys, something that I never realized until now. Parshat Vayigash is famous for Yehuda's emotional plea in front of Yosef, not knowing that that's his brother. But there's something so chilling about his speech that most people miss. I missed it the first couple of years that I was preparing my Shabbat Shmooze for you guys. And this week, when I started to relearn it, I thought about it and I said, this is an outrageously exceptional point that we're going to talk about, we're going to delve into. So Yehuda gives the longest, most passionate speech in the Torah, and Yosef does not answer him. Not one word. The pasuk, the long pasuk, says, "V'lo yachol Yosef lehitapek lechol hanitzavim alav, vayikra hotziu chol ish me'alai, v'lo amad ish ito behitvada Yosef el echa." I'll explain. Yosef could no longer restrain himself before all who stood by him, and he called out, "Remove everyone from before me." And no one was allowed to stand with him when Yosef finally revealed himself to his brothers. Why couldn't Yosef bring himself to just answer Yehuda? Yosef is standing in front of his brother. He doesn't realize that it's him. And Yehuda is telling him, please, don't take Binyamin. Take me instead. I'll be the slave. Replace our roles. And at that very moment, Yosef realized, okay, so he's defending Binyamin. He's taking responsibility. He's offering himself as a slave. So he's essentially rewriting the sin of Yosef. But Yosef stays silent. And Chazal comment on the silence and they say, some moments are so powerful and so holy that dialogue is not needed. Words would almost cheapen the moment. Yehuda was no longer talking to Yosef. Yehuda now was talking to Hashem. And when a person reaches a level of absolute truth, Hashem responds not with words, with revelation. And it is then and only then when Yosef saw that Yehuda and his brothers had done Teshuvah. Vayigash, they approached, they took that step, it wasn't about words, it was about the action. He's taking responsibility, he's a changed man. And that is when Yosef says, my favorite line in the Torah, Ani Yosef, ha'od avichai. I am Yosef. Is my father still alive? I get chills and goosebumps every time I say that line. For 22 years, Yosef waited. Not for revenge, not for apologies. He just waited to see, did they change? Did they learn the lesson? Did they get the memo? And the proof wasn't tears, it wasn't regret, it was action. Yehuda doesn't say, we're so sorry we sold our brother Yosef. He says, take me instead. That, my friends, is Teshuvah. And at that exact moment, Yosef realizes, now my family is ready to be redeemed. And that is when he reveals himself. I heard a story, true story, about someone that, a distant connection to me. There were two brothers who had been fighting terribly for many, many years. And it caused the mother tremendous pain. The older brother did something very difficult, and it was a very big betrayal of trust towards the younger brother. And the younger brother just said, I want to have nothing to do with this man. And it was such a painful incident for the mother. And as the years went by, they completely cut contact. They weren't in touch, and it really took its toll emotionally on the mom, but also physically. And the mother ended up getting very sick, and she needed to be hospitalized. So all the children were called by her bedside, including these two boys that hadn't spoken to each other in a long time. And the older brother came in, and he looked at his mother, what he assumed was her deathbed, what everybody assumed was her deathbed. And he took a deep breath and he muttered, "This is my fault. I did this. I broke our family. I broke our mother." And at that moment, everyone started crying and they hugged him and they realized he took responsibility. He didn't have to apologize. He didn't have to come up with a fabulous speech. He changed. He took responsibility. Vayigash. The action of him confessing that he understands that this was his doing, that was Teshuvah. And when he took action, when he came to the hospital, and when he declared that he is responsible for this was the moment that the family was able to mend that terrible brokenness. And Baruch Hashem, the mother ended up waking up and living many more years to see her family united and beautiful together again. This is Vayigash. You know, sometimes we find ourselves, especially during Aseret Yemei Teshuvah or Elul or Yom Kippur, or when we're going through a hardship, we make promises to Hashem. Okay, I'm going to do this. I'm going to do that. Okay, I'm going to keep Chalav Yisrael. I'm never going to speak Lashon Hara again. I'm going to work completely tzniut. And then all of a sudden, when push comes to shove, we don't follow through with our word. And this is the week for us to approach Hashem and say, I'm going to take action. Vayigash equals action. Vayigash equals Teshuvah. Vayigash equals responsibility. You know, we want so much from Hashem, but Hashem doesn't really redeem speeches. Hashem redeems changed people. And if Hashem doesn't answer you, it's probably because he's ready to reveal himself to you. So guys, for spiritual homework this week, my favorite parsha in the Torah, don't ask, what should I say? Ask, what must I become? Find an area in your life that you can approach Hashem with a noticeable improvement, whether it's in the way you parent, whether it's in your marriage, whether it's your emunah, whether it's responsibility or just plain integrity, and reflect and say, I'm not giving lip service to Hashem. This is action. One action that you will do to approach Hashem and say, I am XYZ, I will do XYZ. Show Hashem that you're a changed person, you've done Teshuvah, it's going to be the best week of your life, and Hashem, Be'ezrat Hashem, should reveal himself, not just to one of us, to every single one of us, in front of the third and final Beit HaMikdash, with the coming of Mashiach, Tzidkeinu, this week, B'mheira B'yameinu Amen. Love you all, wishing you a wonderful Shabbat, health, healing, besorot tovot, revelations and clarity, wishing you all a Shabbat Shalom.